usually when we leap and we can make a meaningful change, I promise you the net will appear, as you stated, and you will be happier by going for it. And the real winner is you because of the confidence you get. It's a muscle that's built and it gives you permission to do it again and again and again.
Hey everyone, it's Amy Lynn Durham, and you're listening to Create Magic at Work. Create Magic at Work is on a mission to equip senior leaders with tools they need to be a true quantum leader and actually understand what that means. Improve employee engagement, retain top talent, and transform your workplace culture to have less drama and stress. So let's start making magic. Welcome to another episode of Create Magic at Work. Today, I have an interesting character for you as a guest on the show that I read into, that I recently met. It's Ryan Berman, the founder of Courageous, the author of Return on Courage, and the host of the Courageous podcast. I think that's the most I've used the word courage ever in like one sentence. That's amazing. Ryan believes that change is hard, but the hardships that come from not changing are far harder. He has spoken on the topic at Google, Snapchat, Kellogg's Europe, Procter & Gamble, Discover Card, Charity, Water, and many others. Ryan believes your future is safe with change, and his company helps those who have been stuck, scared, or safe liberate their business forward. I would add maybe like false sense of safety, right? If you want to check out Ryan, we'll talk about his links and everything at the end of our conversation, but his website is couragebrands.com. Ryan, thanks for being a guest on Create Magic at Work. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for putting this show on. I think you are aware of this already, but magic is pretty high up on our priority list as a company. Like we have 4 core values that are prioritized, and the very first value is sacrifice, but the number 2 value in the company is magic. So if I was wearing a cap, I'd be tipping it right now to you. Huge cap tip for the work that you're doing.
Thank you. Thanks for being here to share your magic with the Create Magic at Work community. Let's get into it. I want to talk about courage. It's kind of been, I think, in the energetic consciousness of the workplace recently in the past few years, right? I mean, in the 90s, I never really heard, when I was working in retail, I never really heard people giving these inspirational talks about having courage in the corporate space. So tell me what inspired you to create Courageous and what it's about and why.
Well, it has been a journey. That's probably the best way to kickstart this conversation. I came out of New York City and learned from the storytellers there, and got out to California in 2004, thinking I was going to move into the true magic making business of movie making. And man, Amy, I feel like I've been living a movie ever since I got here. It's all good. I live in Southern California now. 1 month after being here, I fumbled into starting my first ad agency, and it took about, to make a very long story short, a decade to get to a position where I was finally out of the day job. And so I remember thinking about our people, and it was fascinating that every single time they were working on a courageous idea, they were happier, they stayed longer at work, and when our clients bought those ideas, the return was always greater. And every single time we surrendered to the safe idea, people were on edge. People were a little sadder, we'll say. I can tell you the office was empty by 5, and the return was mediocre. It didn't have the same sort of panache. And so I was like, what is it about this concept of courageous ideas that works? And why do we keep walking into rooms with our clients and presenting multiple options. And in agency life, it was like, let me show you the one that's right on strategy, and then sort of walk the plank out and tiptoe all the way out to a courageous idea and realize shame on us. It's we probably shouldn't be just bringing in the safe choice into the room. And this sparked the idea of courageous ideas are the only ones that matter. And the more I studied that, the more honest it felt to me. And so I started working on a book called Return on Courage. And this was a 1,000-day listening lab interviewing now what I call the brave, the bullish, and the brainiac. And yeah, the book was very much like a documentary, meaning if I didn't have an answer, I went in search of an answer. And what I thought I was writing was a book about courageous ideas. And I still deeply believe in the statement of courageous ideas are the only ones that matter. What I learned along the journey was that courageous ideas die without a courageous leader. Like without a courageous leader, good luck selling through a courageous idea. And so I realized the topic was much wider than I had thought it would be. And, I joke that I'm trying to rebrand corporate America as Courage America, right? And look, life is also too short to not like the people you work with, right? So where do we need to jump in and become fear fighters? And just to use the word one more time, we see ourselves as courage Sherpas to the willing. Anyone who is looking to get unstuck often calls us, and we try to become that trusted confidant. And sometimes it's a courageous conversation that has to happen, or there's a courageous decision that we're putting off. And yes, we still find ourselves in the courageous ideas business, helping companies come up with their special and bring to life their special. And that is the business. To put a pin in the story, though, I basically remember coming out of those 10 years. And like I said, it was 3 years of writing the book. And everything I learned pretty much gave me the courage to fire myself from my last life. And so in 2017, I remember selling back to my other two partners. And in 2019, ended up launching Courageous. And now that's the deal. We get to help unlock the potential of a leader or a team, or we help unlock the potential of a business or a brand.
Interesting. So tell me, if you can, share with all of us, can you share like one or two specific courageous moments you've witnessed recently in the corporate space?
I mean, I think they're happening now more than I think at first I'm like, is this a word that's happening in corporate? Or am I missing the mark on this? And now I think we're maybe because we're studying the topic, but one of my favorite stories is to watch how Domino's Pizza basically reinvented themselves. And they went from you remember them, they were the 30 minutes or less company, and they had a family recipe, and it was more of a value play. And now, great. So bad pizza showed up in the 31st minute. You saved $8. Congrats. Uh, they basically had the courage to throw away a family recipe that was 60 years old, and they launched everything from the crust up. And they did it through one very simple mantra of, "Oh yes, we did." So if it was an "Oh yes, we did" moment, now if it's an "Oh yes, we did" moment, Domino's forges ahead on it. And if it is an "Oh yes, we did" moment, they don't spend any money on those ideas. And to watch them take a stock price from $2.84 in 3 years of negative sales to now I think it's over $350, $400. Like that is a serious return on courage for a company. Again, had the courage to basically change everything from the crust up, tell America they messed up, and be vulnerable with America. And here they are today. That's one. A second one that I like that we've had a chance to have a front row seat on was with Harrah's Resorts. And if you think about Harrah's Resorts, or you don't think about Harrah's Resorts, I think that was part of the problem. It's like, how do we make Harrah's relevant? And they had gained resort status. And our first strategy was, hey, we want to be a destination. And the more we thought about it, we don't want to just be a destination. We want to be a destination of fun. Well, what if we made them a true destination, like a legal city, like an actual destination? And Harrah's Resort, Southern California, is on tribal land, so it can play by different rules than other places. And we literally got the blessing of the tribe, working with their GM and their team. and we were able to rebrand Harrah's Resort as a real city called Funner, California. So if you actually Google Funner, California, if you put Funner, California in Google Maps, you will see that this is a real destination with their own zip code and their own rules. And even when you're driving out to Funner, now you'll see like the signs 11 miles away, 7 miles away, 4 miles away. And you can't have a city, can't launch a real city without a mayor. So we ended up, the first mayor of Funner was David Hasselhoff. And Mayor Hoff, of course, got a key to the city, and he made specific rules, and you go see the mayoral suite. So to me, what was beautiful about it is this idea of a real destination called Funner, California, that was started out as a campaign to the market. Over time, it changed the culture on the inside. Like, hey, if we're going to be called Funner, what else has to change? And it's not Funner, a pit boss with a button-down suit and their arms crossed trying to take your money. So what would a pit boss in Funner, California be dressed like? What would they act like? And it started to change what life is like on the inside with the culture as well. They're now on their fourth mayor. They actually just announced this week, Mayor Martin Short is the new mayor of Funner, California.
Oh my gosh. That is so playful. Like when you share that, I just keep thinking, yeah, that's incorporating playfulness into work, which therefore leads to innovation and creativity and all of these other things. And then the engineering of the area where they're rising to the occasion of the name, just all very brilliant and very risk-taking and courageous to do. And that's one thing that I think we all need, these reminders, because sometimes we find ourselves playing by rules we never even created, or that we're not even consciously aware that we're playing by the system's rules that we're in. And then it just takes somebody to remind us, like, oh, by the way, you can just make up this town's name in a fun way. Or, oh, by the way, we can just do whatever we want in this playful and fun way. And look at the innovation and creativity that sparks from this. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. So I want to talk to you about something else.